Hey guys, welcome to this video. In today's video, we are going to create a cricket fever app using React and Rapid API's CrickBuzz API. This app will show you live upcoming matches with scorecard and live updation. So let me show you the demo of this site. As you can see, we have header on top having logo, text on left and a search bar in middle and navigations on right side. Then comes our banner section having text on left and image of ball and bat on right side. Then comes our live matches where it will show the live matches going with the live feed and real-time updation using this API. Then we have this quick score on right where you can see the quick score of that particular team. In upcoming matches, you can see the match that are going to happen in the future. Then comes our match details, which give you the full detail of scoreboard with real-time data. At the bottom, we have the sleek designed footer. Now, if I click on detail button, then it will open match details with the data and player list on right and a match summary. You can collapse or expand the details too. Using this API, we get all these details and data. The site is fully responsive for any devices, that is for laptop, tablet and for mobile devices. So now let's get started. Open your VS Code. Now go to your Chrome and search for white React. Now click on this first link, scroll down and copy this command and now paste it in your terminal. Now here give the project name as same, the package name will be same, the framework will be React and variant will be JavaScript. Click here no and select no here also. Then let's install our node packages. Till the time it is installing, let's go and install our Tailwind CSS. So in new tab, search for Tailwind CSS and click on this first link. Click on this get started button. Using this white, for white we are going to install this. So copy this command and now paste it in your terminal. Now after this, let's copy this import statement and go back to your white.config.js and paste it here. Then after this, let's copy this plugin here and now paste it, putting a comma and paste it here. Now after this, copy this import statement and go to your src. Inside this, go to your index.css and paste it here. We don't need this app.css, so I have removed that. Then copy this h1 tag and inside this app.js6 type rafce and inside this div paste it here. Change this class to class name and then inside your terminal type here npm run dev to start our server and O and enter to open it on our Chrome browser. Now you can see the Tailwind CSS is installed and working fine. So let's go back here and now inside this index.html, change this title, as the title is already present here, just make it capital C, and here let me just show you the assets here. So this link is already given in the description box, you can get these assets from there, and this dummy styles will contain the CSS we are going to use for this particular app. So we have this logo PNG also. So let me close all this, and now in your SRC, let's create a components folder, and in SRC let's create a pages folder also. Now inside this pages, let's create a file that is the home.jsx and type here RAFCE. Now after this, let's go back to your Chrome and search for our React router DOM package, and click on this first link, copy this command to install it, and in your terminal paste it here. Now let me close this, and again type here npm run dev, and let me just go and refresh the page here. Now it is working fine. Let's go back, and now here in your app.jsx, let me just remove this h1 tag here, and also let's remove this div also. Then let's create a route stack, and inside this route stack we need to first get the React router DOM. So let me just wrap our app component inside this browser router. So remove this strict mode and then map our app component inside this React browser router. So cut this app and paste it here. So now after this, let me close this here, and let's create a route tag, and inside this route tag, the path here, it will be on slash, and the element we are gonna render is the home element. So now after this, let me first import the CSS here. So type here import, and here we are going to import our home styles from our dummy style. So here we are going to use these CSS property for our this particular component. Now here inside this div, let's give a class name, and the class name here, it will be home styles dot root. Then another div tag and give class name to this div as home styles dot ball1. Then the style here, and inside the style it will be background, and the background will contain the home styles dot ball1 gradient. Now after this div, let's copy this div and paste it just after this div and change it to ball2, and here it will be changed to again 2. Now after this, another div tag, give class name to this div as home styles dot, it will be our header container, and inside this we are going to create a component first, that is the header.jsx, and inside this we are going to type here RAFCE and type here the header. So in our home page, let me just import the header here, and let me close this. Inside this we are going to pass a on search, and inside this on search it will contain a queue, and let me just create a arrow function here and type a console.log, and it will be our search, and pass the queue here. Now after this, let me just go and check. So our header is present with the background also. You can see the background is present here. So now let me just go and create our header component here. So for this, first we have to import. So let's import our header styles, which will be coming from our dummy styles. So here we are going to use these CSS property for our header styles. So let me just also import our image also here. So let's import our logo coming from our assets slash logo.png. So here we are going to use, let me show you the logo here. So here we are going to use this logo. So let me close this, and now after this, let me remove this div here, and let's create a header tag, and inside this header tag, let me give a class name to this header tag as header styles dot it will be container. Then a div tag, give class name to this div as header styles dot, it will be our inner, let me just remove this and type here inner container. Then another div tag and give class name to this div as header styles dot, it will be main wrapper. Then inside this another div tag and give class name to this div as header styles dot, it will be our logo container. Then inside this another div and give class name to this div tag as header styles dot, it will be logo image, and here pass the image tag, and in src it will be logo, in alt it will be logo, and class name to this image tag, it will be header styles dot, it will be our logo img. Now after this let's go and check. So our logo is present here, having look like a navbar here. So now after this div, let's create another div tag, give class name to this div as header styles dot, it will be logo text. Then inside this another div tag, give class name as header styles dot, it will be logo title, and the style here it will be, let me give here the font family, and the font family here it will be, let me type here the font family as Exer, and it will be serif. Now after this let me type here the cricket fever, and now you can see the heading is present here. Now the title is present. Then after this let's create our center. So for the center, create a form tag, and inside this form tag give here the on submit here, and on submit will be our handle submit or handle search, and give class name to this form tag as header styles dot, it will be search form. Then role here it will be, the role of this form will be search only. Then create a div tag, give class name to this div as header styles dot, it will be our search wrapper. Then inside this create a label tag, and inside this HTML4 we are going to give as header search. Then class name to this label tag as SR only. Then let's type here the search inside this label as search matches. Now okay, you have to first give the on submit function here, that is the handle search. So for that let me just define some state also. So type here const menu open comma set menu open is equals to a use state hook, and the initial value will be false here. Then type here const queue comma set queue is equals to use state hook, and the initial value here it will be empty. Then we have to pass here the on search that we have just passed here, that is this on search. So type here the on search, and inside this create a arrow function here, and it will be empty. Now after this let me just type here the const, and it will be handle search is equals to create an arrow function. Also we need to pass the event here, so pass e as an event, and type here e dot prevent default, as it will stop the page from reloading. And after this type here on search, and on search will be q dot trim, so it will trim the value so that it can search the particular term there. So now it's working fine. Now let's open our GitHub. The link is already given in the description box. You can get these dummy data from there also. So go to your this src, and inside this src go to components, and in components go to your headers.jsx, and copy this use effect hook, that is for the Google font we are using. So let me just paste it here, and this let's import our use effect hook, and this is for the Google font which we are using this here, that is the font family. So now after this let me just go back, and now after this label tag, let's create a div tag, give class name to this div as position will be relative. Then input tag, and inside this input tag, let me remove this here and pass the ID. And ID will be here the header search. Then the value here, it will be Q. Then on change, and it will be a event pass here and an arrow function, and type here it will be set Q, and set Q will be event dot target dot value. Whatever the value will be, it will be changed according to that. And a placeholder, it will say that is search. And class name to this input tag, it will be header styles dot, it will be search input. Now after this input tag, let me just create a button tag also, and inside this button, type of this button, it will be the submit type, as it will submit the data that we want to search. And a class name to this button, it will be header styles dot, it will be search button. Now type here search inside the button. Now let's go and see. So now the search bar with the button is present here. So let me just search something and search. So it is getting searched. Let me just show you this. So now you can see it is getting searched on the console. If I change something, it is getting searched here. So it's all working fine here. Let me just go back, and now after this font tag, let's create our right side. So for that, let's create a div tag, and inside this div tag, let's give here class name, and the class name here, it will be header styles dot, it will be nav container. Then create a nav tag, give class name to this nav as it will be flex item center, and the gap will be of 2. Then inside this, create a button tag and give class name to this button tag as header styles dot, it will be nav buttons. And inside this, let me just type here live. Then let's copy this button tag and paste it 2 times. Now after this, let me just change this to fixtures, and here it will be changed to teams. Now after this, create a div tag again, and inside this div, let's give here class name to this div as header styles dot, it will be auth container. Then another button tag and give class name to this button tag as header styles dot, it will be logo button, and inside this button, pass here the login. Now after this, let me just copy this button tag here and paste it again. Here just change this to sign up button, and it will be changed to sign up. Now after this, let me just go and check. So now you can see this sign up button with the nav items, nav links are present here. So now let's me just go back here, and now for the mobile view, we are going to create this for the mobile view. So for that, let's create a div tag, give class name to this div as header styles dot, it will be our mobile menu button. And inside this, let me just go to our GitHub and copy this button tag here, and now let me just make it for the smaller screen, and now let me just paste it here. Now once I have pasted here, you can see this button is present here. The SVGs are getting used here for this button tag. So now after this button tag, let's type here menu open. If the menu open, and create a div tag here. So if the menu is open, then it will show you these things. So it will be header styles dot mobile menu, and inside this, create a nav tag, give class name to this nav as header styles dot, it will be our mobile nav. Then inside this, a button tag, give class name to this button tag as header styles dot mobile auth button, mobile nav button, and pass here the live. Let's again copy this button tag here and paste it 2 times. Now again change this live to fixtures, and this button will be changed to teams. Now after this nav, create a div tag, give class name as header styles dot, it will be mobile auth container. Then inside this a button tag, and give class name to this button tag as backtick, and pass here the header styles dot, it will be mobile auth button, and inside this again a dollar and a header styles dot, here it will be mobile login. And now inside this just type a login. Then let's copy this button tag here and paste it again, and this time just change it to mobile. Let me just change it to mobile sign up, and here it will be changed to sign up. Now after writing this, let's go and see. So now the buttons are also present here. So now our nav bar is responsive for all the screens. So by writing this, the header component is completed here. Now let's go to GitHub, and inside this index.css, the CSS here, let's copy this whole CSS, and inside this index.css paste it here. Now after pasting this, let me just close this index.css, and now let me just copy this flag.js. Here you will get the flag. Function is for generating the flag is if not present. So let me just create this and paste it here, flag.js file, and you can see here we have this multiple flag present here. So now let me close this here, and now let me just go back, and now it's all working fine till now. So now inside this flag, let me explain you this, that is we are getting this flag from this link, and we are just giving this emoji of flag to this using this is a to flag, and here you can see this where we have multiple flags here. So in components, let's create our footer.js6 component, and inside this type here RFCE and type here footer. Then inside this home, after this header div, let's paste this let's import our footer here. So now you can see the footer is present here in the background. So let's create our footer. So for that, let me just first import. So I'm gonna import our footer styles from our dummy styles. So here we are going to use these CSS property for our this footer component. So let me remove this. Also let me remove this div also, and here let me create a footer tag, and inside this footer tag, let's give here a class name to this footer tag as footer styles dot, it will be container. Then after this a div tag, give class name to this div as footer styles dot, it will be inner container. Then inside this another div tag, give class name to this div as footer styles dot, it will be content. Then another div tag, give class name to this div as footer styles dot, it will be logo container. Then inside this another div, and inside this another div tag, and give class name to this div as footer styles dot, it will be copyright. And inside this, let me type here and copy for this, add the copyright icon, and new date, and date dot get full year function, and inside this let me just type here the Hexagon digital services. Now after this, let's go and see. So it is present here, but it is behind this nav, the header, that is the nav bar. So let me just give a br tag, the break tag. So now let's go and see. So now it is visible here, the footer. So now after this div, let's create another div tag, give class name to this div as footer styles dot, it will be nav container. Then inside this, create a nav tag and give class name to this nav tag as footer styles dot, it will be nav. Then inside this, create an anchor tag, and it will be on hash live, and let's give here the class name to this anchor tag as footer styles dot, it will be nav link, and let's type here live. Now let's copy this anchor tag and paste it 2 times, and here let me just change it to hashtag upcoming. Here it will be changed to upcoming, and then this anchor tag will be changed to about, and here it will be changed to about. Now after writing this, let's go and see. Now as you can see on the UI, the 3 things are present here. Now inside this GitHub, inside this footer.jsx, let's copy this anchor tag here that contains the SVG. So here after this div, after this nav, create a div tag, give class name as footer styles dot, it will be social container, and inside this just paste it here. Now after pasting this, now once you go back, you can see these 2 icons are present here for the Twitter as well as the GitHub. Now after this we have successfully completed our footer section also, the footer component. And now let me close this here, and now here let me just remove this footer from here. Later we are gonna import this again. And in components, let's create our component as loader.jsx, as when we are fetching from the API, it will just be a loader that will show first. So for loader, let's go to our GitHub, and inside this loader.jsx, let's copy this whole code, and here let's paste it here. Now after this whole code, first let me just type here a return statement. So here inside this return, let's type as centered, and if it is centered, then create a div tag, give class name as width will be full, then it will be flex item center, then justify center, and padding will be 4. Then after this, let me just pass here the centered content, and content will be passed here. In else case, it will be centered. So now here this content is used here for this display. If it is centered, it will be centered. So here the centered value is passed by false, but it will be passing from this home page. So let me close all this, and now after this, let's create our home page. Now create a main tag, and inside this main tag, let's give here class name, and inside this class name type here home styles dot main. Then inside this, let's create a section tag, and inside this section tag, let's give here class name to the section tag as home styles dot, it will be section. Then after this, let's create a div tag, give class name to this div as it will be home styles dot hero wrapper, and here the style here, it will be hero wrapper style. Then after this, let me create another div tag and give class name to this div as it will be home styles dot, and it will be our hero box, and the style here, it will be hero box style. Now after this, let me create another div tag, or first let's go to our GitHub, and inside this home.jsx, let me just scroll down, and here let me just copy these both style that we have given here, and after this paste it here. So here we have this style present there. So now you can see this box is present here. Now after this, let me just open this div here, and now inside this div, create another div tag, give class name to this div as home styles dot, it will be our hero spotlight, and the style here, it will say that is the background here, it will be our home styles dot, it will be hero spotlight gradient. And now let me just create another div tag and give class name, and it will be home styles dot, it will be hero content. Then another div tag, and inside this h1 tag, give class name to this heading tag as home styles dot, it will be hero title. and let's give a class name to this div also, that is home styles dot, it will be hero text. And now inside this h1 tag, give class styles also, and the style, let me just go to GitHub and let's copy this style here, the font family, and let me just paste it here. Now in this h1 tag, let me just give a heading as follow every matches and a BR tag, and type here real time, so it will show you the real time score, and it will be classy insights. Now after giving this heading, let's go and see. So now the heading is present here, as you can see it is present here. So now let's go back, and now after this h1 tag, create a paragraph tag, and let's give class name to this paragraph as home styles dot, it will be hero subtitle, and let's give a paragraph as live scorecard, upcoming fixtures and match analytics, and let's copy this dash here from the GitHub and paste it after this, and let's give a further paragraph as fast live scores, then it will be schedule tracking and compact analytics. Now after giving this paragraph, you can see the paragraph is present here. Now after this paragraph tag, create a div tag again and give class name to this div as it will be home styles dot, it will be hero buttons, and inside this I create a button tag and give on click property, and it will be an arrow function here, and for that type here document dot get element by id, and we are gonna get the target the id as live. If it is, then it will be scroll into view, and inside this the behavior of the scrolling will be smooth here. Now after giving this much, let me just give a class name to this button tag also as home styles dot, it will be primary button, and inside this type here view live matches. Now let's copy this button tag here, and let me just paste it after this button tag, and here let's change this element, the targeted element here, it will be match detail, and here it will be changed, the class name will be changed to secondary button, and then the button will be changed to quick detail. Let me just type a detail here and make this Q capital, and now let's go and see. So now you can see the two buttons are visible on the UI. Now after this we need the images also, so for that create a div tag, give class name to this div tag as home styles dot, it will be hero features, then create another div tag, give class name, so it will be our home styles dot, it will be feature tag. First we have to define the feature as live score cards, and here let me just copy this div tag here and paste it 2 times, then let me just change it to, first let's change it to our match details, and here this last one will be changed to, let me just change it to team statistics or stats. Now after defining this, let's go. Now you can see the 3 navs are present here, features. Now after this we need the images, so before that let me copy and paste this border and paste it here. It will be our shadow border that will be applied over here. Now let me just go back, and now after this let's create an image tag. In source here it will be bat, in alternate it will be bat, and the class name to this image tag, it will be hero bat. Now after this let's copy this image tag and paste it again, change this bat to ball, and in alternate it will be changed to ball, and it will be changed to hero ball. Now let me just import these both images. So we are gonna import, so let's type here import. We are gonna import the bat. So we are importing the bat from our asset slash, it will be bat.png, and then we are importing the ball from our asset slash ball.png. Now let me just go. So now we are using this ball image like this, and the bat image will be like this. Now after importing this, you can see the ball and bat images are present here. Now let's go back, and here let me show you again. So our banner is ready. Now after this banner section, let's create another section, that is our top section. So for that, let me just type here a section tag, and inside the section tag, let's give here the class name, and the class name here will contain the home styles dot, it will be grid section. Then another div tag, give class name to this div as home styles dot, it will be main content. Now after this, let's create another div tag, give class name. Or first let's give the ID as live, and then give the class name to this div as space from y axis will be 4. Then another div tag, give class name to this div as it will be home styles dot, it will be section header. Then another div tag, give class name to this div tag as home styles dot, it will be live status. Then another div tag, give class name to this div as home styles dot live count. Then inside this, let's type here, let me just go back to the GitHub, and here we have to copy this states. There are multiple states present here. So first let's copy all this, and after this let me paste it here. Let's import our use state hook first. So here we are defining this selected match, that is the particular match will be selected, and initially we don't select any match. This team input will be the team we have selected first, and the team ID will be showing the team ID, that is the particular team we have selected. Loading initials will help in the loading process, that is we have created the loader for that, and at the initial it will be true, at the starting the loading will be true. And live list and live error will show you the live errors if something happens, and live list will be our array list that will contain the matches details here. So type here loading initials. If it is, then it will be loading. If the loading is done, in that case it will be backtick, and type here the live list. So it will show you the live list dot length. So it will show you the how many matches there are present using this live list dot length method. Then type here loading initials, and inside this let me just go first. You can see this loading is present here at starting. So if the loading is done, then type here loader. So we have to import this loader. So the loader is imported here. Then inside this the message, we have to just pass the message, and the message here it will say that is loading live matches. Then it will be centered. So the centered we are using is being passed here. Then in else case, let me just type here the live error. If it is live error, if the live error happens, then create a div tag, give class name to this div. It will be text small and text red, or text rows 600. Then inside this just pass here the live error. Wait, we have to pass it between the divs. Let me just cut it here, and let me just paste it here. Now after this, let me create another component as live matches .jsx, and here let me type a RAFCE for the live match. And in else case, if the error doesn't comes, then it will show you the live match which will be created using the component, and here the matches will be passed as the live list, and on select here it will be passed as an ID, and we are gonna pass it as a on selected match and it will be selected using this ID feature, and selected match will be selected match. It will be passed here. Now, after passing all this in the loading initials, let me just go back to our GitHub again, and here let me just copy this style injected and let me just paste it. Let me just paste it after this here, and let's import our useRef hook from our React. So now let me just go and let's create our live match. For this, first let's type here, we are gonna import. So let me import. So we are going to import our live matches styles from our dummy styles. Then we are going to import our pick colors and then get gradient style from our dummy styles. So here we are going to use these CSS properties for our live match component, and also we are going to use this pick colors and this get gradient style for our live match component. So now let me just check. So now it is all working fine till now. Loading live matches it is showing. And now in SRC let's create a folder that is API, and now inside this API let's create our API as script api.js, and we are gonna use this API later. So now let's give here class name to this div, and the class name here it will be live match styles dot container. Then create another div tag, and inside this div let's give class name as live match styles dot, it will be header container. Then create another div tag, and inside this another div tag, and give class name to this div tag as live match styles dot, it will be title wrapper. Then inside this create another div tag, give class name to this div as it will be live match styles dot, it will be title, and inside this let's give the title as live matches. Then create a span tag and give class name to this span tag as live, let me type here, live matches styles dot, it will be dot pulse, and after this another span tag and give class name to this span as live match styles dot, it will be dot base. Now after creating this, let's me show you, this is loading the live matches, and let's go for the GitHub. Inside this components, inside this live matches.jsx, let's copy this multiple states and let me just paste it here. Then let's import our use state hook here. This matches shows you the matches that will be coming from the API. This raw will be showing you the raw data. Then this loading and error will show you the loading status and the error status. And this last updated will show you the when you have updated the last time, and the quote mode will show you this the data. Then let's go to home.jsx, and here let me, as you can see we have this on select, we have defined this. So for that we have to just call it as a children here as a props, use it. So now after this let's go to our GitHub again, and let's copy these helper functions, and let me just copy this. Now let me just copy it till here, and let me just go and paste it here. Now after this, now it shows a error, let me just fix it. Let me just give a bracket here and it will be fixed here. Now again after this let me just copy this, and let me remove this bracket here and again paste it here, so it will be done here. Now these are the helper functions we are going to use for our fetching the format scores, the format team scores, that is the team which will be showing the scores that the particular team has. So it shows that the inning score, how much the inning of a particular team has a score here. Then for this format team score, it will show you the score for a particular team that has score there. So Then this extract from payload, this means that this is how our payload will look like. So this is how our original extraction will be done. So it is how our payload will look like the data will be shown here. So let me just give a comment here, that is, this is the payload, this is how the data will be shown or will look like here. So now, and here this fetch live function will give you the live fetching from the done from the our API. So, and this useEffect hook will show you this live result each time we reload our page here. So each time we reload this page, it will show you the it will call this function fetch live, and it will show you the live matches here. Now after this, let me just type this here, that is fetch from the API. Now after this flag component will show you the flag according to this, as it will be called from the flag.js file. So this flag and label will be used from there. Now after this let me just create our UI now. So for this, let's create a div tag, give class name to this div, as it will be live matches styles dot, it will be subtitle, and let's give a subtitle as manual refresh, no polling, and it protects the quotes. Now after this, let's create a div tag and give class name to this div, and it will be flex, then the item will be center and gap will be 3. Then let's type a last updated and create a div tag. Let me just make it a div tag here, and let me just close this div also. Now inside this div, let me just give a class name to this div tag, as it will be live match styles dot, it will be subtitle, and let's give here the subtitle as last, and let's pass here the last updated dot to local string, and here we have to change this to local, let me just make it time, to local time string, and make it a function here. Let me just close this here. Now after this, create a button tag here, and in this button tag, let's give here the on click property, and it will be our fetch live. So it will be refreshing the button here, and give class name to this button as live match styles dot refresh button, and disabled is equals to loading. So whenever we are in loading state, it will be disabled here. So if we are in loading state, it will show you refreshing, and let me just make this R capital. Let me just, okay. Now in else case, it will be just refresh. So basically it will show you this refresh button, else it will be showing this. Now you won't be able to see till now. So for that, let's go to home.jsx, and first let me just copy a small function on select match for the particular ID function, and let me just paste it in this home.jsx after this. So now let's go back, and now to get this here, let's go to our Rapid API. For that, let me just go to API and click api.js. First, let's copy this whole code, and let me just paste it here. Now let me just get this Rapid API host and Rapid API key from the Rapid API website. So let me just search here for the Rapid API and click on this first link. Now on the right side, click on this sign in, or you can just directly sign in from here as it shows here. So after the sign in, you have done the sign in, you can go to API hub. Here you will get multiple APIs you can get any API. For this project, we are going to search for Crick, and it will show you this Crick bus here. So to get this API, you can go on the right side, click on the subscribe to test, and select this basic plan. that is start this plan, as it will have this 200 requests per month. It is the hard limit that you can only have 200 requests per month and 1000 requests per hour. Then subscribe this, and once you are just subscribed, click on this get started, and now here you have to change this to JavaScript, and on the client side it will be Axios. So for that, let me just install this Axios also. So type here npm install Axios in your terminal and hit enter. Let me just get it installed here, and npm run dev again. So let me just refresh this here. Now after this, now let's go back, and so this is the Rapid API key. Let's copy this key here, and let me just paste it inside this. You can also create a .env file. Later I will show you that also. But this time let me just copy this host address, and let me just go and paste it here. Now after pasting this, on the base also it will be same, but let me just show you. So you can see this base, we are just using this base till slash. We don't need the slash also. Let me just paste it here. Now we have just pasted this base also. Now after this, let's create a async function, and inside this function let's create a name of this function will be safeget, and inside this we are gonna pass the path comma opts is equals to, it will be empty. Then let's create this function, and inside this create a try catch block, and inside this let me just first explain you this. That is, this Axios instance we are creating is similar to this options we are getting here. So here let me just go, and you can see this headers, it is similar to the header that is written there. We are using this rapid host for this and rapid key for this rapid key here. So now this is the headers, and we are creating this instance for the API using this Axios. Now, and this 20,000 means this 20 seconds timeout here. So here you get this live match. To get this live match status, let me show you how I am getting this. So here you can see this live, this matches live, and you get this matches live from this here. So we have created this small function for this only, using this slash matches slash v1 slash API slash live. And similarly for this upcoming matches and recent, we have used this upcoming for this upcoming matches, and for this recent we have used this recent matches. Now let me just go back, and here for the center and scorecard, let me show you how I am getting this also. This is already given in the GitHub, but to explain you, I am just showing this how we are getting this. So I am getting this match get info using this mcenter v1 and the ID. So for that, the match ID will be shown here, that is that for particular match ID. Then for this scorecard, this is the match ID, we are getting this. Now let me just go back to our scorecard. For this scorecard, you can see this is the S card, and for this scorecard v2, it is this HS card. So we are getting these things from our this panel. Then similarly for this team and miscellaneous, we are getting this from there also. So now let me just complete this function we have written for the get safe, and here let me just type here this const response is equals to an await keyword, and type here up api.get method. So it will be get on path with the opts. So it is a get method. Why we are using this get? Because it's a fetch method. Now you can see this is the get is written here. Why? Because we are fetching this from this API. So that's why it is the get method. Let me just go back, and let me just complete this function here. So type here console.log, that is the CLG, and let me type here crick API get, and put a comma here, and type here path, put a comma, and it will be status. and inside this pass the response dot status here. Then after this, let me type here return, and here we are going to return, that is the data. Let me just correct this data, we don't need to import it. Data will store the response dot data, then it will also have this raw response will store the response here. Now in case of error, that is the ERR, let me type here the console.error, and inside this error there will be the error of Crick API get error, and put a comma and pass here the path from where it is getting the error, and the error will be pass error.response. If it is, then it will be status. Also it will show you this error dot message also. Now after this, let me just type here const error is equals to, it will be new error, and inside this error it will be error dot response and dot data dot message, or it will be error dot message, or it will be network error. So basically in error we are just storing this network error, or it will get the message from the API. If it gets, else it will be network error. Then error dot status is equals to error dot response dot status. Now after this, type here error dot response is equals to, it will be error dot response dot data, and also the error, it will throw the error, so it will show you the error there on the console also. So by this we have completed this Crick API.js also. So now here let me just import this also. So for that, let me just type here import. So we are going to import our get live matches from our Crick API. So here we are going to just use a simple this small function for our live matches. We are using this route, that is, and type here import loader from our loader package, and lastly we are going to import our flag. Let me just type here flag for team name from our flag.js file. So here we are using this function for this to get this flag for the team name. Now let me just close this, and now after this let me just create the UI here. So let me type here Qt mode, and it will be inside this create a div tag and give class name to this particular div, as it will be live match styles dot, it will be code alert. Then let me just type here the quota may be exceeded, showing catch sample data. So if in case the 200 requested is being made, then it will show you this error. Then loading and matches dot length is equals to 0. If the matches dot length is equals to 0, then in that case create a div tag and give class name to this div, as it will be live match styles dot loading container. Then inside this div, let me just type here pass here the loader, and the message it will be showing while the loading, it will be loading live matches. Now let me just close this loader also. In else case it will be error, and inside this error create a div tag, and inside this div let me just give here class name to this div, as it will be live match styles dot, it will be error container. Then pass here the error, and in this error the error will be passed here. Now again in else case it will be matches dot length, and the matches dot length is greater than 0. If in that case, if the matches dot length is greater than 0, first let me close this loader here so that it don't shows any error. So in that case create a div again, and inside this div tag let's give here class name, and it will be live match styles dot, it will be matches grid. Then inside this pass here the matches dot map, and inside this map the match m, and create a div tag using this arrow function, and type here class name, it will be m.id. then the role of this div will be button, then the tab index here, it will be 0, then on click property, and inside this create an arrow function here and type here on select and on select again, and inside this on select we are gonna pass the match.id, that is the m.id. Then on key down, if we press on this key, pass the event here and type here if event.key is equals to enter, that is if we press the enter key on our keyboard, or key e.key is equals to empty, then in that case again on select here, let me just type here on select here, it will on select m.id, that is the match.id, will be open, and give class name to this, it will be live matches dot, it will be match cart. Then create another div tag and give class name to this div, as it will be live match styles dot, it will be match cart inner. Then another div tag and give class name to this div, as it will be live match styles dot match header. Now inside this another div tag and give class name to this div, as it will be, let me just type a live match styles dot, it will be match status. Then inside this type here m dot status, or it will be match. Now after writing this much, let's create another div tag and let's give here class name, and the class name here, it will be live match styles dot, it will be match time, and inside this we are gonna pass here the match dot time, that is m dot time. If the time is present, then it will be m dot time dot split method, and we are gonna split the time using this comma, and let me just pass here the 0, and else it will be empty. If the time is not present, it will show you empty. Now after this div, create another div tag, and let me just go to our GitHub. Inside this live match.j6, let me scroll down here and let me just copy and paste this div tag here, and let me just paste it here. Now after pasting this, let me just scroll down and create another div tag, give class name to this div, and it will be live match styles dot, it will be match footer. Then another div tag and give class, let me give class name to this div, it will be flex item center gap of 3. Then inside this create a button tag here, and inside this button tag type here on click property, it will be event, and create an arrow function and type here e.stop propagation, and also we are gonna pass here the on select and on select, it will be done on match.id, that is m.id. Now give class name to this button tag, as it will be live match styles dot, it will be detail button. So this button will show you the detail of that particular match once you click on this detail button. Then let me just create another div tag and give class name to this div, it will be live match styles dot, it will be match id, and here let me just type here the hashtag match.id will be shown here. Now after this another div tag and give class name to this particular div, as it will be live match styles dot venue, and inside this we are gonna pass there the m dot venue, or it will be, if it is not present, it will be empty. Now after this div, let me just go to GitHub again and let's copy this div and paste it here. Now after pasting this here, let me just give else case, that is the if the match is not shown or not present through the API, then in that case it will show you this div and give class name as no match container, then another div tag and give class name to this particular div, as it will be margin bottom will be 3. Then type here no parsed live matches raw API for debugging. Then inside this debugging, let me just type here pre tag, and inside this pre tag give class name to this tag, as it will be live match styles dot raw data pre, and inside this just pass here the json dot stringify method, and inside the stringify we are just stringify the raw, and it will show you that is no data. So if the data is not present from in the API, it will show you no data, null and 2. Now we have completed this here and it shows a problem. Okay, the problem is here that is we have defined two class name. It is key, not class name. Now let me scroll down here and check. Now let me just make a change and now it shows it's working fine. So now let me just refresh here and here we have to get this output, but we are not getting it. So by this we have completed this live match also. To get the output we have to correct this home.jsx. So for that we have to import the get let me just type here, get live matches from our Crick API. So now you will be able to see. First let me just go to home.jsx and here let me just copy all the functions starting with this useEffect hook and let me just paste it after this here. Now here this useEffect hook is only for this font, that is the font Poppins. We are using this useEffect hook. Then let me just copy this helper functions. These helper functions are similar to the helper function we have defined in the live match. That is, it is trying to extract the data from the API we are getting. Now after this let me just go back and let me just copy this. Let me copy this from bottom. Now after copying this let me just paste it here. It shows we have copied it wrong. Let me correct this. Let me just copy this from here till here. Now after copying this function let me just paste it here. Now after this pasting of this function, this is our live matches details will be coming from here. Then let me just go and let me just copy this normalize match ID and here we are normalizing the ID. Let me just go back and let me just copy this useEffect hook for this fetch live matches. So here we are going to fetch this live matches using this API and this function we have already used. So let me just copy and paste over this function. Now after pasting this let me just scroll down and now our on select is match working fine. So let me just refresh it. So it shows that useEffect is not defined in the live match. Let me just also here it is not defined, so this error also needs to be fixed. And use callback also for this home.jsx. Use callback and now so useEffect is also not defined in the live matches. So let me just go, but we are getting this status, that is the live status. So it shows the status as 200. So this is working fine here. So our API is working fine. Let me just import the useEffect here. And now you will be able to see the matches list for the live matches. You will be able to see the list. Now as you can see there we are showing this multiple matches are coming here. Now it also shows the matches which are, and it shows the last time you have updated also. So this is all working fine for the live matches. And let me just again refresh it and now it's all working fine and it shows all the details here, and later we will be doing that. So now let's go to our home.jsx. In this home.jsx, create a div tag and give ID to this div as it will be upcoming. Then let's create another div tag and give class name to this div as it will be home styles dot it will be section header. Then create a h2 tag and give class name to this heading tag as home styles dot. It will be section title, and let's give the title as upcoming matches. Now after this, let's create another div tag and give class name to this div. It will be home styles dot. It will be section subtitle, and let's give the subtitle as plan ahead. Then let me just scroll down here. On the UI, you will be able to see this upcoming matches and plan ahead present here. Then after this, let me just create a component. That is, the name of the component will be upcoming matches.jsx, and inside this, let me just type here RFCE. Then inside this home.jsx, after this div, let's import this upcoming matches, and let's pass here the onSelect, and in onSelect the ID will be passed. Let me just add a equal to here, and inside this pass the ID and create an arrow function and type here onSelect match, and the match will be selected by the ID. Let me close this here. Now after this, we have to complete this upcoming matches. So for that, let's type a import. So here we are going to import our upcoming matches styles, and here we are going to use these particular CSS property for our this particular component. So let me just put a comma here, and also we are going to use this pick colors and get gradient style. So now after this, let's import. So here we are going to import our get upcoming matches from our API, Crick API. So here we are going to use this function and this route for our this upcoming matches. Previously we have used this live matches for this live, and this time we are using this here. So let me just copy this onSelect here, and let me close this, and this time we are using this upcoming. So let me just break it as a prop here. Then let me just go and on this GitHub, let me just go to our upcoming matches.jsx here, and let's copy this multiple use states hook, and after this, let me just paste it here. Let's import our use state hook. This group will show you an empty array at initial, and later it will be showing you the groups required. Then raw will show you the raw data. The loading and error will show you the state, whether it is a error state or it is in loading state. Then last updated will show you the last updated. Now after this, let me just go and let me just copy this function. These functions are just similar to the function used in the live matches. So this all are the helper function we use for this. Let me just add a comment here, and now this is a helper function. Then let's go back, and this time let's copy this function for this extract and group. So here we are going to extract it and make it a group. So this is how our data will look like it is a payload here. So now after this we have completed this also. So this is the payload, and now let me just add a comment also here. That is it is the payload just like the live one. So we have already used this. We have already used this in the live matches, but the payload was different there. So this time it is different. So let me just copy this also, and here let me just remove this bracket and paste it here. Now once I have pasted this, let me just this is how we are gonna group it. So now let me just copy this useEffect hook for the fetching of the upcoming matches, and let me just paste it after this. So we are going to fetch this upcoming matches from our useEffect using this useEffect hook, and this function will fetch this from the API we have used there. So now after this, let me just copy this function here. Let me just copy it till this flag function, and let me just paste it here, and now let me just paste this here. Now So this is the flag function. We have already discussed this in the live match, as it will show you the flag according to the team it shows, and this flag will be coming from this flag.js file we have created in the components. Now after this, type here if the loading is going on, in that case, and the group.length is equals to 0, in that case it will return, and it will return a div, and div will have this class name as upcoming match styles dot, it will be loading container. Then type here loader, and loader will be imported here, and the message the loader will be showing, it will be loading upcoming matches. And let me just close this here. Now after this, type here if the error occurs, if the error happens, and in that case it will again return, and it will return a div tag, and in this div it will show you a class name, it will be upcoming matches styles dot error container, and inside this the error will be passed, as well as the error will contain this error. Now after this, let me just give here a class name to this div, and the class name here, it will be upcoming match styles dot, it will be container. Then another div tag, give class name to this div, it will be upcoming match styles dot, it will be header container. Then another div tag and another div tag, and give class name to this div, it will be upcoming match styles dot, it will be header title. And let me just give our title as upcoming matches. Then after this div, another div tag, and give class name to this div, it will be upcoming match styles dot, it will be header subtitle, and let me just give a subtitle as manual refresh protects quota. Now after this, let me just go back, and it shows an error. Let me check it. Okay, use effect is not defined. Let me just define this use effect in this upcoming matches.jsx. Type here use effect, and now let me just refresh. So now it shows this, it is working fine, and it shows that this is coming here. Okay, it's working fine. So we only have 200 requests, so let me just comment it for now. Let me cut it here, and so after cutting it, it will show you this error here, and let me just add a comment outside this and paste it here. So later we are going to use this. Till the time we are creating this upcoming matches, we have to stop it so that the request is not sent there. So let's create another div tag, give class name to this div, it will be flex item center, and gap will be of 3. Then inside this, type a last updated and it will be another div tag, give class name to this div, it will be, let me just type here upcoming match styles dot, it will be last updated text. Then inside this, type a last and pass here the last updated to local string, and here let me just change it to local date string. And now create a button tag here and give on click property to this button, and pass here the fetch upcoming, and give class name to this button tag, it will be upcoming matches styles dot refresh button, and disabled is equals to loading. So if it is in loading state, it will show you this, it is disabled. Then if loading, then it will again show you this refreshing, and if not loading, it will show you this refresh. Let me just correct this refresh here. Now after this, let me just go to live match, and let's copy this quote mode and paste it here. Then just change this CSS to this. Let me just copy this upcoming match and paste it here. Now once we have done this, let me just type here groups, and groups dot length is greater than 0. If the group dot length is greater than 0, in that case create a div tag and give class name. The class name here, it will be upcoming match styles dot group container. Then inside this, let's pass here the groups dot map, and here we are gonna map the group with the group ID and create an arrow function, and type here a section tag, and inside this section tag give here the key as GI. Then give class name to this section tag, it will be upcoming match styles dot, it will be series section. Then create another div tag and give class name to this div, it will be upcoming match styles dot series header. Then another div tag and give class name to this div, it will be upcoming match styles dot, let me just type here the series title, and inside this let's pass here the g dot title, that is the group dot title, and another div tag and give class name to this div, it will be upcoming match styles dot, it will be series match count, and inside this we are gonna show the g dot matches dot length, and it will show you this length, that is total number of upcoming matches, with the match dot g dot matches dot length is greater than 1. If in that case it will be es, else it will be empty. So it will show you this match, else it will be matches if the length is greater than 1. Then another div tag and it will be series label, and let me just pass here the series. Now after this another div tag and give class name to this div, and it will be upcoming match styles dot matches grid, and inside this pass here the g dot matches dot map, and inside this we are gonna map our match and create an arrow function, and inside this create an article tag, and let me just go to our GitHub again and let's copy this article tag here, and let me just paste it over here. Now let me just close this article tag, and now inside this article tag create a div tag and give class name, it will be upcoming match styles dot, it will be match article inner. Then inside this another div tag and give class name to this div, it will be upcoming match styles dot match header. Then another div tag and give class name to this div, it will be upcoming match styles dot, it will be our match time, and inside this time let me just pass here the m dot time here, or it will be, let me just type here the m dot venue, or it will be empty, or it will be TBA, that is to be announced. Now another div tag and give class name to this div, it will be upcoming match styles dot match venue, and pass here the m dot venue, or it will be empty. Now after passing this create another div tag, and let's go to this and let me just copy this div tag for the flag, and let me just paste it over this. Now after pasting this here, we will be getting the upcoming with the flag, and the flag name for the second team will be coming here, and the versus is in between them. Now after creating this, let me create another div tag and give class name to this div, it will be upcoming match styles dot match footer. Then let's create another div tag and give class name, it will be flex item center, a gap of 3. Then a button tag, and inside this button tag give on, let me just give on click property. So let me just type here on click property and pass an event and create an arrow function, and type here e dot stop propagation. Also type again the similar on select and on select done on the match dot id, that is the match dot match id, and give class name to this button, it will be upcoming match styles dot detail button, and inside this just pass here the detail. So now another div tag and give class name, it will be upcoming match styles dot match id, and inside this let me just pass here the hashtag m dot match id. Now after this another div tag and give class name to this div, it will be upcoming match styles dot match date. Then inside this pass here the m dot time, or is if it is present then it will be m dot time dot split, and we are gonna split it using this comma, and also at the 0th index, let me just correct it 0th, also else it will be empty or to be announced TBA. Now after writing this much, let me just copy this hover ring here for this and paste it here. So this is our div pasted over here. Then let me just give here else case. In else case create a div tag and give class name to this div, it will be upcoming match styles dot no match container. If there is no match, then it will show you this container here. Then another div tag and give class name as margin bottom will be 3. Then inside this, let me go to live match and or don't copy this from here. Let me just go here and change, just let me type here, that is no upcoming match passed raw API response for debugging. And after this we have to create a pre tag, and inside this pre tag it will be similar to that live match, that is upcoming match styles dot first raw data pre the class name, and it will be json dot stringify, and inside this we are stringify the raw, and it will show you that is no data, and in put a comma and pass here the null and 2. Now after this we have completed our upcoming matches also. So let me just place this key here, and let's go and let me just check the error is coming here that shows the flag name is not defined. Okay, so we have to define this flag name. So let me just go to upcoming matches here, and on the top let me just import. So here we are going to import our, let me just type here, import flag for team name will be coming from flag. And now let me refresh it again, and now it's all working fine. Let me just scroll down here. Now once I scroll down, it shows you the upcoming matches that will be coming for this, for the date, and it shows you the latest using this refresh button also. So the upcoming match is also working fine. Now it shows you the time, the date, the stadium where the match will happen. And now by this we have completed this upcoming matches.jsx component also. So let me close this, and now inside this app home.jsx let me create another div tag, and inside this div we are creating this div for the right side of the column. So let me just give here the class name for this div. It will be our home styles dot, it will be sidebar. Then inside this another div tag, and let me just give or just change it to aside tag, don't use this div tag here. And inside this div tag let's give here the class name as it will be, let me just type here the home styles dot, it will be sidebar sticky. Now after this create another div tag, and inside this div let me give here the class name, it will be home styles dot, it will be quick score card. Then another div tag, and inside this div let's give class name as home styles dot, it will be quick score header. Then inside this another div tag and give class name, it will be home styles dot, it will be quick score title, and let me just give here the title as quick score. Now after this another div tag and give class name, and this class name will be home styles dot quick score status, and let me give the status as live slash selected. So this aside tag has been created on the top, on the right side you can see. Now let me just go back, and now let me just type a loading initials. If it is in the loading state, it will show you this loader, and the message it will show you that is loading live summary. And let me just pass here the centered and close this loader here. And if it is not in loading state, then it will be not selected match. If the match is not selected, if any of the match is not selected, then in that case it will show you this div, and the class name will be home styles dot, it will be quick score content, and inside this type a no match selected, click any match card to load quick score. Now if the match is also selected and the loading is not done, in that case let me create a div, and inside this div another div tag and give class name to this div, it will be home styles dot quick score status, quick score content, and inside this type here matches, and the matches will contain the selected match. Also it will, let me just create another component And the component name here, it will be scoreboard.jsx and type here RAFCE. Then let me just import this scoreboard here, and let me just pass here the match ID, and the match ID here, it will contain the normalized match ID, and the normalized match ID will be done on the selected match. So by this, let me just go, and you can see the quick score is present here. So we have to create this quick score here. So now it shows this match ID, but it doesn't show you the quick score. So for that, let's go and create our quick scoreboard. But before that, create a div tag here and give class name. It will be margin top will be 3. It will be flex, gap will be of 2. Then a button tag here, and the button tag will be containing this on click property, and pass here the arrow function and type here this const, type here el is equals to document dot, it will be get element by id, and we are gonna target the element as match details. Then type here if the el is founded, then it will be el dot scroll into view, and inside this we are gonna define the behavior as smooth, and then let me put a comma and type here block, and the block will be start. Now inside this, let's give a class name to this button tag. It will be home styles dot, it will be quick score button, and inside this button, let me just type here view details. So once I click on this button, it will show you this scoreboard here. So now let's create this scoreboard here. Now let me just type here import, and we are going to import first. Let me just go to this Crick API, and let me remove this key, so that we don't run out our 200 request. So let me paste it here like comment, and now let me just go back to scoreboard, and let's go to our GitHub first, and inside this GitHub, let me just go to our components, and inside this, let's go to scoreboard.jsx and copy this whole code, and let me just paste it over here. Now this is the full code for our scoreboard, and now let me just go back and refresh it. So on the right side, you can see this quick score is present here. So let me just first fix this. Now let me just refresh it. So now you can see the scoreboard is present here on the right side, which shows the quick score, the match details, and the match between the two teams with the batsman as well as the bowler's detail, having the batsman detail as well as the bowler, and the total score. Now as well as for the second team also, this is the similar. Now let me just go to our scoreboard, and let me explain you this. So these functions are the same logic we have just used to create our live matches as well as the upcoming matches. Then now here this useEffect is also similar to fetch this, and this let me just show you this flag function. This is also similar to the flag we need to use to fetch the flag from the flag.js file, and this render batsman helps in rendering the batsman if the batsman, let me just add a comment here, that is it helps in rendering the batsman detail, and similar for this ball also, it helps in rendering the bowler's detail, and if there is no bowler present, it will show you this, that is the no bowler's length is 0 or the bowlers is not present. Similar for the batsman also, if the batsman is not present as well as the length is not present of that batsman, it will show you no batsman data. Now for the UI part, this scoreboard and match, it is similar to, let me just show you this scoreboard and match. This is coming from there, and after this the loading state, it is for the loading state, but right now it is not in loading state, so it is nothing. Then for this small flag, and for team A, this is this flag, we are getting this from here, and this team A means the second team, that is the versus team. After this versus is for this versus, and here let me just show you the small flag is for this team B, that is this flag, which we are not getting for this team. Now let me just show you this inning details. In inning details, it is similar to the details. Let me just show you this detail where we can toggle between the innings, that is we get this title, summary, score and overs. Let me show you where we are getting this. Here we are getting this inning details as the summary, also this overs, and a click to expand and collapse button. Now here is open means we are gonna render our batsman as well as the bowlers detail. As you can see, we are just rendering here. Let me just click on this. So here we are rendering the batsman as well as the bowlers detail, and it is coming from this render batsman and render bowlers function. And now if there is no innings present, that is if there is no live match going, then it will show you no innings. Then if we are in the loading state, this is how our payload will be passed here. So let me just add a comment here also, that is toggle button to hide the show and wrapper. That is the toggle button. We are just wrapping this to collapse and hide the detail, and here it is no data available, and this is the full card. If I click on this, it gets collapsed here. So that's how it's work, and it shows this full score and share option with the view detail here using this here. So by this we have completed our scoreboard.jsx component also. So let's create another component, and the name of this component will be matchdetail.jsx, and inside this let me just type here RAFCE. Then let me just add this to commented here, and now here first let me just close this, and inside this our home.jsx, here after this section tag, let's create our another section, and the name of this section will be details section. And inside this details section, let's create a section tag, and inside this section tag let me just give here the ID, and the ID will be for match detail, and the class name here it will be for home styles dot details section. Then inside this create a div tag, give class name to this div, it will be home styles dot, it will be our details card. Then another div tag, and let's give here the class name to this div, it will be home styles dot, it will be details title, and let me just give a title here, that is match details. Now after this let me just create here, that is the not selected match, and if the match is not selected, then it will create a div tag, and what we are gonna show that it is the home styles dot, it will be quick score content, and let me just type here no match selected, click any match card for live or upcoming view to view details, and let me just type a selected match. If we have selected a particular match, then in that case create a div tag and give class name to this div, it will be home styles dot details content. Then inside this let me just show you the match detail, which will be imported here, and we are gonna pass the match ID, which will have this normalized match ID with the selected match. So here we are gonna pass this in the match ID, and also create a div tag, give class name to this div, it will be home, let me just don't give a class name to this div, and create another div tag, and let's give this div a class name as text small, and font will be medium, then text slate 800, then margin from bottom will be 3, and let me just type a scoreboard. Now after this let me just pass here the scoreboard, and here also the match ID will be, let me type here normalize match ID, and inside this we are gonna pass the selected match here. Now after this let's create our team section also. So for our team section create a section tag, and inside this section tag pass the ID will be team section, and the class name to the section tag will be home styles dot, it will be team section. Then let's pass here the team ID, and if the team ID is present, then create a div tag, give class name, it will be home styles dot it will be team card. Then create another div tag, give class name to this div, it will be home styles dot team title, and let me just give here the title as team preview, and let me just pass here the team ID. Now after this, let me create another div tag, give class name to this div, it will be home styles dot, and it will be quick score content, and inside this let me just type here the team and type here details, component not included, wired to your team API using team ID. So it will show you this here, and we need to import our footer also. So by this we have completed our home section also. So now let's go back, and here you will be able to see the footer with the match detail card present here. So now let's create our match detail here. Now let me type here import, and here we are going to import our get match center, which will be coming from our API. So here we are going to use this function for our this match detail. Also we are going to import our get s card, also get hs card. So here we are going to get this from the API. Then we are going to import our styles, that is the match detail styles, and here we are going to use these CSS property for our this particular component. Let me close this here, and now after this let me just go to our GitHub, and inside this match details let me open this, and let me just copy this use state hooks, and here let me just paste it here. Let's import our use state hook. Now this center will store the center, that where the match detail will be, the match will be happening. This S card and H card will store the center for this H and S card. Then this H card and the S card will be storing the center for this here. So these three things will be storing all the centers here. Then the loading and error state will show you this loading state as well as the error if something happens wrong. Show raw will show you the data here, and last updated will show you that the last time you have refreshed the page or refreshed the data. Now in the home.jsx we have passed this match ID, so we need to use it as a prop here. Then we need to type here class name. Let me type here class name is equals to, it will be empty. Now after this let me just go back, and let me just copy these functions here and here, and let me just paste it here. Now after pasting this function, it is similar, this function is also similar to, let me just show you, this function is similar for this it is similar for this scorecard. See this, the try extract function. So it helps in extracting the details from our API. Then we are gonna map our lowercase scorecard. So we are mapping this innings detail into this scorecard here using this function. And now let me add a comment here also. So this function maps the lower scorecard and returns a detail overview. Then this use callback hook is helping us in getting and extracting the details from our innings. And this useEffect hook fetch all, so we have to import it also. So this fetches from all the data from the API, and each time we reload the page here. Then after this let me just remove this div and open the returns bracket and create a div tag inside this, and let's give here class name, and let's create our UI for this, and it will be backtick, and let's type here match details styles dot, it will be container. Then inside this we are gonna pass the class name also. Then create another div tag, and let's give here class name, and the class name here it will be match details styles dot, it will be our header container. Then after this create another div tag and another div tag, and give class name to this div, it will be match details styles dot, header title, and let's give here the title as match detail. Now after this, create another div tag and let's give here the class name to this div. It will be match detail styles dot header subtitle, and let's give here the subtitle as match title. Now after this div, let's create another div tag and let's give here class name. It will be match detail styles dot header button group, and inside this type a last updated, and we are creating this refresh button here. So create a div tag for that and create give class name to that as match detail styles dot last updated text, and inside this just type a last, and here we have to pass the last updated dot to local time string. And now after this, let's create a button tag, and inside this button tag give here on click property, and it will be creating an arrow function, and type a fetch all, so it will fetch all the details once click here, and give class name to it as match detail styles dot refresh button, and disabled is equals to, it will be true when it is in loading state. Then let's type here if it is in loading state, then it will be our refreshing, and let me just type here in else case, if it is not in loading state, then it will be refresh button. So now after this, let's create another button tag, and this time let's give here on click property and create another arrow function, and type here set show row raw, and inside this we are gonna pass the s, and it will be not s. Then give class name to it as it will be match detail styles dot raw toggle button. Then inside this, let's pass here the show raw. If it is, then it will hide raw, and if else case, it will be show raw. Now after creating these toggle buttons, let me just okay, you won't be able to see right now, so if you want you can just paste that API. So let me just create a section that is for the loading, and if the loading is happening, then in that case create a div tag, give class name to this div. It will be match detail styles dot loading container. Then inside this pass here the loader, and the message what it gonna show is loading match details. Then let me just close this loader here, and in else case, if it is not in loading state or whether the error occurs, in that case create another div tag and give class name to this div. It will be match detail styles dot error container, and inside this we are gonna pass the error, and the error will contain the error. Now if the loading state is not happening as well as the error didn't happen, then create another div tag, and let's give here the class name to this div. It will be match detail styles dot main grid. Then another div tag, give class name. It will be, let me just give a class name as match detail styles dot left column. Then let's pass here the, let me just create another component for this. It will be our scorecard.jsx function component, and type a RFCE, and here let me just go to our GitHub, and for this scorecard.jsx copy this whole code also, and let me just paste it over here. So this is our whole code for our scorecard function, and here we are going to use the CSS property for our this function. Now after this, let me just import this scorecard here, and inside this we are gonna pass the innings as innings, and let me just close the scorecard here. Now let me just uncomment this, and now let me just go back to our, and let's refresh. So it shows an error that says use callback is not defined. So okay, we have to define this in the match details. So let me just go to match detail, and now after this paste it here. Then now it's working fine here. Now here on the right side you can see the scoreboard is coming here, and inside this match details you can see this details are present here with the scoreboard here. Now so this is all working fine. How we are getting this scorecard? So here we are using this scorecard. As let me show you how we are getting this. So it is this, that if the no innings is provided, then it will show you no innings data is present here. Also same with this, innings.length is equals to 0, then that means that is the no scorecard available. So no innings happens, then no scorecard available, that means. Then if the innings happens, then it will show you this expand and collapse button, that is this button here for the match details. And let me just show you this button also. This is for the expand and collapsing of this button. And here for this batting, for the body, for the batsman team, here we are using this batting, that is this ball. This is for this R is for this run, and this is for the batsman order. So this R is for run, B for ball, fours, how many fours are hit, and the 6, and the SR will be calculated here. So now this is our batsman table. Similar, the table for this bowler will be given below. So if there is no batsman played till now, then it will show you no batsman data here. Now similar for this bowler also, we have this bowling order, and let me show you this bowler details. And this is the bowling details. We have this name, the runs with the wicket, and this over and the economy of that particular bowler. These all details are being fetched by the API. Then see, you can see this is the UI for this bowling, the name, the role of that particular bowler, the stats of that particular bowler, the overs as well as the economy of that particular bowler. If no bowlers have been bowled, then it will show you no bowlers detail. Now in this it will show you the summary and this show full card scorecard here. So if you expand it, it will show you this, and if you collapse, it will show you click to expand for this full inning details. Now this footer is for this footer, that is show full card, this runs and this over. So this is how we are getting this overs and run here. So let me just close this here, and again let me just comment it here. Now in this match details.jsx, let me just after this, let me create another div, give class name to this div. It will be our match details styles dot scoreboard container. Then inside this, let's pass here the scoreboard, and the match ID here we are gonna pass here the string, and inside the string we are gonna pass here the match ID. Let me just close the scoreboard here, and now after this type here, let me just go to our GitHub again, and inside this match details.jsx, let me scroll down for this show raw data, and let's copy this and let me paste it over here. Now after pasting this, let me just show you, this is the raw payload where we will be getting the center, we will be getting this normalized raw for the S card and HS card. Now after this div, let's create a aside tag, and inside the aside tag, let me just give a class name to this tag. It will be match details styles dot sidebar container. Then another div tag, give class name to this div. It will be match details styles dot summary card. Then another div tag, and let's give class name to this div. It will be match details styles dot summary title, and inside this pass here the match summary. So this title will be shown over the UI. Then another div tag, and here let me just give another class name, and it will be match details styles dot, it will be summary text, and inside this pass here the summary. First we have to pass here the center, and pass here the center dot match and the match dot status, and inside this or it will be type here HS card, and it will be HS card dot match or dot status, or else it will be scard and scard dot status. Now, or it will be empty. So here we are going to show you this summary here. Now, after this, let's create another center, and inside the center, if the center is present, dot match and dot it will be venue. Now, venue info, and in that case create a div tag, give class name. If these things are present, then we are gonna show this venue text, and inside this we are gonna pass the center dot match dot venue info dot ground. So let me just go, and here let me just go to player list, and let me just copy this dot here, and here let me just give a dot here, and inside this let's give a space here after this dot, and after this we are gonna pass here the center dot match dot venue info. Then inside this venue info we are going to get the city here. So now create another div tag, give class name to this div, it will be match details styles dot players card. Then create another div tag and give class name, it will be match details styles dot players title, and inside this pass here the player title, that is the players. And now after giving this heading, let's create another component, that is the players list dot jsx, and type here rfce, and here in match details let's import our player list, and here we are going to pass here the players, and player will contain the players. Now make it players, so players will contain the players, and also the on select, here the on select will contain the, let me create a pass here the player and create an arrow function, and in console.log let me just type a console.log, and it will be our player selected or the player selected, and pass here the player. Now let me type here compact. Now after writing this, let me just pass here the not found the players, if the player is not founded, and or the players dot length, let me type here length is equals to 0 if the player is not founded and the length of that player or the length of that player is 0, then in that case create a div and give class name to this div, it will be match details styles dot no player text, and here let me just give a text as no player data available. Now after this we have completed our match detail also. So now let me just go to create our player list. Now let's type here import, and we are going to import our player list styles from our dummy styles, and here we are going to use these particular CSS property for our players list component, and also we require our avatar sizes, and here this avatar sizes will have this compact also. So let me just close this here, and here let me just first let me create a function here. So type here const avatar is equals to create an arrow function here, and for avatar inside this let me just go to GitHub and copy this and paste it here. This things will be coming from our player list function that will be created below, and also let me copy these states that has this height and width for that particular avatar size, and this avatar style will store the height and width here. Now after this let me just go, and here let me just copy these both function for the image, also for the initials, and this image will, if the image is founded, then it will show you this image with the avatar, and the initial will have this name, and the name will be split with the map and slice all things. Then in return create a div thing, and div will have this class name as player list styles dot avatar fallback here. Then let's give here style, and the style will be avatar style. Now let me just type here, pass here the initials. Now after this initials has been passed, now let's go back and here let me copy this and let me just break it as a prop here or use it as a prop here. Then let me remove this, and inside this now let's create a div tag here. And now let me just here, let me type here, if no players to show, if the player we want to show is not present here, then array is not array and the array of that player will not be present, or in else or case the player dot length is equals to 0. If the player is not found or the player length is 0, then in that case it will be a div, and the class name here it will be player list styles dot no player container, and inside this we are gonna show this that no player to show. So here we are going to show this here. Then again inside this create a div tag here, and let's give here class name to this div. It will be, let me type here, player list styles dot, it will be list container. Then also let me add a comment that is for compact avatar. So for small icons, let me just type here const avatar size is equals to, it will be compact. If it is compact, then it will be compact, else it will be default in size. Now after writing this much, let me just create a players dot map, and here we are gonna map our p. Let me remove this and type here p, and p is for the player, and we are gonna map player with the button tag, and this button tag will have this key, and key will be p dot id, that is the player id, or it will be p dot name, that is the player name. And on click here it will create an arrow function, and inside this arrow function type here on select, and it will be on select and it will be done on player. Then give class name to this button tag, it will be player list styles dot, it will be player item, and inside this let's create a div tag, and let's give here class name to this div, it will be player list styles dot avatar container. Then another div tag, and let's give style here, and inside this styles let's type here width, and the width will be having this compact. Then if it is compact, then in that case avatar size dot compact dot width, and in else case it will be avatar sizes, and here it will be sizes also dot default dot width. Now after this put a comma and type a height, and let's copy this line here, and let me just paste it after this, and here this just change this to height, and also it will be changed to height here. Now after changing this, let's type a p dot image URL. If the player's image is present, then in that case the image will have the player dot image URL, and in alternate it will have this p dot name, and give class name to this image tag, it will be player list styles dot avatar image. The avatar image is for the initial, that is the first letter of that particular player, and in else case just pass here the player list styles dot avatar fallback, and here let me just pass here, let's go to GitHub and let me just copy this p player's name and let me just paste it here. Now after pasting this much here, let me just type here another div tag and give class name to this div, it will be player list styles dot player info, and here create another div tag and let's give here class name, it will be player list styles dot player match info, and then let's give another div tag and another div and give class name to this div, it will be player list styles dot player name, and here we are going to pass the player dot name here. Now after passing this name, let's create another div tag and let's give here class name, it will be player list styles dot player details, and inside this we are gonna pass the player dot role, or we are gonna pass the player dot position, or it will be empty. Also we are gonna show the p dot country, that is the player's country, and let me copy this dot here from the GitHub and paste it here. And after this, let me just pass here the player dot country. Else it will be, if the country is present, then it will be country, else it will be empty. Then another div tag, give class name to this div, it will be player list styles dot player stats, and inside the stats, let's create our quick stat for that particular player. So here, let me just type here, player dot p dot runs is not equals to null. If the player dot runs is not equals to null, in that case create a span tag and give class name to the span, and the span will have, this font will be semi bold here, and inside this pass here the players dot run here. So we are going to pass this. Then after this we are gonna show a small player dot wicket is not equals to null. If the player dot wicket is not equals to null, then another span tag, and let's give class name to the span. It will be margin from left will be 2, font will be semi bold, and inside this pass here the player dot wickets with the WKTS wickets. Now after this, let's type here player dot bio, that is the p dot bio, and create another div tag, and let's give class name to this div. It will be player list styles dot player bio, and inside this we are gonna pass the player dot bio. Now by writing this much, we have completed our player list also. Now let me just uncomment this and let me paste it here. Then let's go and check our whole project. Now let me refresh it for here, and now you can see we have this live matches, and in live matches it shows the 2 matches that are just occurring here right now, and it shows the detail of that particular matches what we have selected here. Then now here in the upcoming matches, you can see this match is going to happen on 6th, and for that particular match it shows that no innings are being shown here, as the match is gonna be happen. So it is a upcoming match, and the real-time match which is going on, it shows these details for that particular match that is happening here. So now let me just show you the responsiveness also. Let us test the responsiveness for this project. So now till now this project is fully responsive for any devices, that is for the laptop, mobile, or any view. Now you can see it is responsive for any devices. So this will be all. Stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.